These rocky shores where I call home, where my heart longs to be whenever I roam. It's these rocky shores, it's where I long to be. Yes, it's these rocky shores, they are home to me.
Whenever I leave here, it hurts me so, with tears in my eyes, oh I hate to go. There ain't no work, and the kids need new clothes, the bills need paying, so I must go.
These rocky shores where I call home, where my heart longs to be whenever I roam. Yes, these rocky shores, it's where I long to be. Yes, these rocky shores, they're home to me.
I think to myself, where did it all go? The life I once had on the ocean's gentle road. With tears in my eyes and my head in my hands, away from my family, I hope they understand.
That is these rocky shores where I call home, it's where my heart longs to be whenever I roam. Yes, these rocky shores where I long to be. Yes, these rocky shores, they are home to me. Yes, these rocky shores, they are home to me.
Good evening. Welcome to This Week in Review. Tonight's stories include the Lions will be canvassing the town tomorrow evening, update regarding the new proposed school recreation complex for Burgeo, Grade 3 students visited the hospital, update from the last town council meeting, these stories plus community events, BBS Playbill, Off the Rack, and more coming up after this.
The world is losing vital seed varieties by the hour. Seeds that bring life, that give us food. Once they're lost, they can never be replaced. But it doesn't have to be that way. I'm Bruce Coburn. Please support USC Canada's Seeds of Survival program. That's USC Canada, 56 Spark Street, Ottawa.
Steve May from Seafreeze was in town this past week. Although he was too busy for an interview, I did have an opportunity to speak with him. Steve May informed me that they finally have the green light to go ahead with the necessary renovations for the seal blubber. He went on to say that Seafreeze is now gearing all its efforts in getting the Argentine proposal through the Transitional Job Fund approved. Although he was too busy for an interview this past week, Mr. May agreed to do an interview during his next visit to Burgeo. March is Nutrition Month. This past week, Julia Young, public health nurse, and Brenda Strickland, a volunteer with the Canadian Cancer Society, gave us a lesson in healthy eating.
And healthy eating is based on the Canada's Food Guide. There are 5 main principles of the Canada's Food Guide. One main principle is to have variety. The Canada's Food Guide is divided up in 4 food groups according to what nutrients it has. It's important to eat all of the 4 food groups to get all the nutrients that you need to be healthy. And the Canada's Food Guide also recommends how many of each serving you should get to ensure that you're getting enough nutrients for the day. You can see that there's a range there in the recommended food groups. So that would mean you would eat according to your body's needs. If you're a person who's very, very active, well then naturally you would need more servings on the upper end rather than on the lower end. And if you're a growing person, a child or a teenager, then you would need more than an adult, as a general rule. Another important thing about the Canada's Food Guide is eating a lot of cereals and vegetables and fruit. And this is shown by the rainbow. You can see that the biggest rainbow is breads and cereals. So that does emphasize that breads and cereals are very important, and that's a choice that you should be making quite often. And in breads and cereals, you should be choosing whole grain and enriched products more often, because those are the ones that got more nutrients. But canned is okay too.
After some discussion about Canada's Food Guide, Julia and Brenda proceeded to make a healthy dessert as well as main course.
Syrup and light syrup. And a tablespoon of cornstarch.
This program will be shown in its entirety on Wednesday evening. Also, as part of Nutrition Month, the Communities in Schools worker at the high school organized a breakfast club that ran all week.
Florence, you've been holding a breakfast club here at St. John Central High all week. How's the response been?
Very good. As you've seen earlier today, we had over 30-something kids here. Monday morning it started kind of slow, but I think mostly because of the weather, and a lot of the students forgot when they met me in the halls Monday. They were like, oh, I'm going to come tomorrow. So the last 2 or 3 days we've had anywhere from 20-something to 30-something kids come into the breakfast club.
Okay, so how exactly is the club set up?
Well, it's just me. I'm part of the Communities in Schools program here, and I wanted to do something for March because March is Nutrition Month, and we all know that breakfast is the most essential meal of the day, and it helps. Studies have shown it helps kids learn better, they're more alert in school and things like that. So I decided to run the breakfast club for 1 week, from Monday to Friday, and it's just me. I come in at 7 in the morning. I set up everything. I have juice, apple juice, orange juice, milk, cold cereal, and I also have toast and hot chocolate, and I have it all prepared. The kids come in from 8 to 8:30, so that's about it.
Okay, so what are the comments that you're receiving on the breakfast club? Do the kids think it's a good idea?
I think majority of them, I haven't had anybody, walk away saying they weren't satisfied or whatever. A lot of the kids are wondering why it's only a week. They would like to see it go for a longer period of time. So I never say never, but it is costing, to run this program. It costs approximately $1.25 per person to serve a breakfast club breakfast to these kids. So, it's a shame to say, but a money factor comes into it. But we may be able to do other programs.
So the kids themselves do not have to pay for the breakfast? It's free?
None whatsoever. This breakfast club going on all this week is totally free. They come in, they can have their choice of cereal or toast. They can have both. They can have 2 glasses of juice. They can have 3 hot chocolate. It doesn't matter. They just come in and have a healthy breakfast.
Okay, so you've been here in the school now pretty much since school started. How long is the Communities in Schools program? How long will it last here?
My job is supposed to be over the 6th of May, actually. It's a 32-week program done under Youth Services Canada. From then on, if I'm going to be in the school, which I know I am going to be, it will not be my regular 8:30 to 4:30 Monday to Friday, because I'll be volunteering. So I'll probably spend 2 or 3 afternoons in the school, because around the end of May, the kids are getting ready for their exams and stuff like that, and I just don't want to leave the kids. I run the Homework Haven, I help with the tutors for tuition, the peer youth tutoring, and basically anything else that the kids want me. My office is there, my door is open for them, so I don't want to leave them hanging. I'm going to stay until the school year is over.
Okay, well, we'd like to thank you for speaking with us today.
Thank you, Dave.
Miss Tucker's grade 3 class visited the Calder Healthcare Center this past week, where they learned about the many different aspects involved in healthcare. The grade 3 students are currently learning about the human body in school, and what a better place to find out more than at the Calder Healthcare Center. There were several different stations set up where the students learned about everything from x-rays and the human brain, the heart, blood and blood pressure,
Blood pressure? You want the blood pressure check? No.
Oh, look at it. Is there ears? When they have the little light on. Can I see it?
Like my ear, I'm telling her.
So do you look in your ears? You want to see? Yeah, sure. I don't even know if it looks too there. I might not hear it. Yeah. See? No? Okay, let's try. Michael. Go for it, Michael.
Okay, I can see it now. How's your blood pressure, man? You don't know yet. There'll be something you find that you have blood pressure. Take pills.
Let Michael go first.
Okay. Just don't hurt or nothing, you know. All the time. Just keep your hands still.
I was open used to cast, but the difference really is just show them the wheelchair and the crutches and stuff.
Students also had a chance to learn more about the ear as well as have their hearing tested.
That's what we're saying right here. All this is all in
This one is called a great. This one right there. Remember this one? This is a round shape. This is a bowl shape. That's your hip bone, I call it.
Well, you know what? I understand. Yeah, do make sense now. You see it all.
Another booth, they learned about casts, dressing, as well as having a chance to use a wheelchair and crutches.
Individually, right?
Oh my goodness, Michael in a wheelchair.
Miss Tucker, I know they use them.
Yep, you stay with the group, okay, buddy? Right, yeah.
How to properly care for one's teeth was discussed at another booth. At another booth, students learned about the eye.
And see if you can find the iris for me. Iris? Yeah, see if you can find that. Right there? Great. What color's your iris? Brown. Brown? Is it? Mine looks like brown.
And at the final booth, students got to get dressed up and go visit the incubator.
See the baby.
Thanks to parent volunteers and the Public Health Office, the grade 3 students had the opportunity to learn a lot more about the human body. Stay with us, there's more of This Week in Review still to come.
I'm Bruce Coburn. 10 years ago in Nepal, I saw how illness and death occur when there's no safe drinking water, how crops can fail without irrigation. Today, with assistance from USC Canada, progress is being made. Clean drinking water is now a reality. Irrigation trenches have been dug and sanitation improved. Help the people of Nepal build for tomorrow. Support USC Canada. 1-800-5656-USC.
The Burgeo Lions Club will be canvassing the town tomorrow evening. I spoke with Lions President Stan Kosser to find out why the Lions are raising funds. Speaking with me in the studio today is Stan Kosser, President of the Lions Club. Welcome to our studio. Stan, I understand the Lions will be canvassing the town tomorrow night. Can you tell us what they're raising the money for?
Yes, Dave. We're going to canvass the town to raise money to help the Brook Lions Club in their project that they've undertaken to purchase a new hair-gun laser machine for the Western Memorial Regional Hospital.
Okay, can you tell us what this laser machine is used for?
Well, it's used for eye surgery. Now, I have a letter here from that the doctor, and I won't even try to pronounce his last name, an ophthalmologist in Brook, sent to the president of the Brook Lions Club. And I'll read a part of it and it'll explain what the machine is all about. And he says, "Dear sir, further to our discussion, I am writing to clarify the need for a new hair-gun laser machine for Western Memorial Regional Hospital in Brook. Our hospital treats patients from the entire West Coast region and most of the Northern Peninsula. Our catchment area also extends to Labrador and part of central Newfoundland. On an average, about 30 to 40 patients require a laser in a month. Most of these patients have diabetic retinopathy, which is a potentially blinding disease. Fortunately, blindness is preventable with laser treatment. This laser is also used for treating retinal holes, which if left untreated, would result in detachment of the retina. Another important use of the laser is in the treatment of glaucoma, not responding to medical therapy. Here again, the laser is an important tool in the prevention of blindness." And he also goes on to say where the whole machine they've got is like losing its power, and this one got way more uses. We've had people even here in town that have, matter of fact, one of our own Lions members have had to go to Halifax for treatment, whereby with this machine that it could be done right here.
Okay, you mentioned that you're canvassing on behalf of the Brook Club. What areas are being canvassed by the Lions?
The whole west coast of Newfoundland, Northern Peninsula, everything, all the areas that is serviced by the Western Memorial Regional Hospital, and where there's no Lions clubs, there's other groups doing it.
Okay, so how much are they hoping to raise?
The machine costs $108,000. Now, the club is open to get a grant of $54,000 from LCIF, which is a Lions Club Foundation organization that do give out grants. They're open to raise the other $54,000 through those collections, through corporate sponsorships, and through, I guess, through, just private donations.
Okay, so what exactly is the fundraiser that you're doing?
Well, what they come up with was a toonie day. And what the club is doing, the Lions, Lioness, general public, whoever want to get involved is going around. We've been supplied with milk cartons, sealed milk cartons by Brookville Ice Cream. They supply all the cartons. The Lions members or Lioness, if they want to get involved, or if there's somebody out there from the public who would like to come along and help out, by all means. I'll see if I can get some more of those. And what they'll do, they'll just go around, knock on the door. It's called a toonie drive, but if they want to they can put in a toonie, a loonie, change. If they want to put in a bail, they can. If they like to make a donation whereby they want a receipt for it, they will give out receipts for anything over a toonie. They just, I guess, just tell the person when they go around, just write it on a piece of paper so we'll know that they need a receipt for it. And the Lions member or whoever will knock on the door. They'll have one of those containers. We hope we'll have enough to go around. If not, they will have a sealed container, and you just drop your donation into the container. So we'd like for everybody to make sure that they've got their change ready, because unless the person have got their pocket full of change whereby they can change it up, they can't open up those containers and make change for people.
Okay, so what time will you be starting canvass tomorrow?
Around 7, I guess. Now, if there's somebody who can't go out tomorrow night and they want to go out tomorrow afternoon, by all means they can go. But we're hoping to have the whole town done, like, tomorrow anyhow, and tomorrow night, hopefully.
Okay, is there anything else that you'd like to add?
Yes, Dave. At this time, I'd like to thank the general public for all their support during the year. They come out, they support all of our fundraisers, our special especially our special fundraisers that we've had, our special bingos, they've come out and supported us. Our ticket sales and everything, all of our fundraisers goes to some worthy cause. And one of our, I guess one of our greatest fundraisers, or one of our, most of our fundraiser goes to, not most of it, one of our greatest fundraisers is for the Lions Max Sims camp. I know there's a lot of people who've heard us talk about the camp before. Now I've got a tape, roughly about 10 minutes long, a new one that was made up on tape. And I'm going to bring it down and make it available and use people to show it on BBS on Wednesday night after the TV bingo. And people will see what the camp is all about. There's people on there talking about it. You'll see people, you'll see several people from this area is on there. See Leroy's there, Bradley Carter from Ramya, and if Christine is watching, her boyfriend's on there. So it's mostly the ones on the tape is the most of the ones with the physical handicap, because that's the ones you can mostly notice. Like a lot of ones got like a mentally handicapped, could be sitting down, and people, if they don't know it, they wouldn't know that they're handicapped. But it's a nice tape, and people can see exactly what we were raising money for this camp.
Okay, so it sounds like a good tape to watch.
It is a nice tape. Yes.
Okay, well, we'd like to thank you for coming in and speaking to us, and we wish you the best of luck with your Toonie drive.
Thank you very much.
A committee containing a cross-section of school, town, and recreation members, as well as input from our MP and MHA, has been set up for some time now, exploring the possibility of a new school recreation complex for Burgeo. 3 representatives from that committee stopped by our studio following their meeting on Friday to update us on their progress. Speaking with me in the studio today, I have Andy Butt, Director of Education for School District Number 4, Barbara Barter, Principal at St. John Central High, and our Mayor, Alistair Han. Welcome to our studio.
Good day.
I understand that you've all been involved in talks and meetings regarding a new all-grade school recreation complex for Burgeo. How has your committee progressed thus far with respect to this building?
Well, Dave, you know that just over a year ago, the school board that was just newly formed to serve this area had set its priorities for new building construction. And it put the Burgeo area as being its number 3 priority for getting a new school. So in my early times down here, I began discussions with the 2 principals of the schools about I guess the possibilities, and I became aware of the fact that the town of Burgeo was also looking to establish a recreation center that included an ice rink and other facilities as well. And it just got round to us talking to each other about maybe there's a possibility that the 2 projects might be able to support each other. And so since about March or April of last year, we've been asking that question and trying to explore the possibility of creating a school community center recreation complex instead of just a school by itself or just a recreation complex by itself.
Okay, so how realistic does this facility seem to your committee at this time?
If I stay with that one for a minute, I think that we are encouraged by the way that things are going federally, provincially, and locally. At the federal level seems to be wanting to get more and more involved in partnerships, and just as recent as yesterday's budget, there was announcements again about the provincial government looking at more partnerships and more cooperation between either government agencies or government agencies and private sector. So we're encouraged by the orientation that the governments are taking, and we think that it means that our project, if it becomes a real project, might have a good shot of becoming a reality in a realistic time frame.
Okay, so I understand that our MP and our MHA are also playing a role on this committee?
Yes, Dave, our MP met with the council last Saturday, and he was brought up to date on where we're going, and he's very supportive, and we'll be exploring all avenues that he can to see what funding or other assistance can be got from at the federal level.
Okay, so I understand that the first step in this process, I guess as with any process, is a feasibility study. I understand that that's already been scheduled?
Yeah, we've agreed that between the town of Burgeo and the School District Number 4 School Board formally exchanged letters whereby council has formally agreed to participate in examining the option, and the school board has formally agreed to participate in examining the option. So the two levels of government, local levels, albeit the school board and the town, are funding a feasibility study to be done by an engineering firm to examine what would be the scope of such a project and what would be the chances of financing it. And at this point it looks like the town of Burgeo will be funding about 15 to 20% of the cost of the study, the school board about 35 to 40% of the study, and actually the provincial government through MHA Bill Ramsey is expected to contribute about 50% of the cost of the study.
Okay, so how long is the study expected to take?
Well, first we thought it would be 6 months, but due to the budget yesterday and so on, and we tried to speed things up. By the way, Atlantic Engineering of Corner Brook is the firm which will be conducting the study. And we were advised this morning that he will be starting on April the 20th, and I believe it's not later than June the 15th he hopes to have the study completed. So I think the school more or less knows what they want in the way of a school facility. It's the town now that they've got to explore to see what we really want in the way of a recreation complex for Burgeo, and we're open that to look up into every aspect of recreation for the area, and not only for, and when I say area, I don't only mean Burgeo. Probably with the change of the ferry system now along the coast, maybe it can be more of a regional type of facility. And so that's what we're looking for, and that's where we stand as far as the feasibility study. And if people got something out there they feel that to offer, then when this study is being done, then by all means come forward and say what they think, because you know, our minds are not made up yet. We're quite open, and once we see what's going on, well, then we can get back to the specifics from the study.
Okay, so do you have a site in mind for this facility?
No, there's been no site chosen yet. We've tossed around some sites, but it wouldn't be fair to say that we have a site picked out at this time. But there will be one picked out during that study.
So, Ms. Barter, what does the school hope, what's the school's view of their portion of the building, I guess? I know, like, some people wonder why, for instance, the public library was moved into the present school if there's talks of a new school.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess that was taken into consideration before that move was made.
Well, basically, Dave, I guess from the school's point of view, we've been promoting the school this past year as the beginning or the creation of a community school, because we've been finding that with declining enrollments and staff layoff and so on and so forth, that in a rural area such as Burgeo, we're really going to have to partner in order to create a healthy learning environment for everyone. And we were offered a chance to submit a proposal for community-based learning. And I guess we could have held back, but you know as well as I know with government funding that if you happen to be in the receiving line, you don't say, well, I'm not sure what's going to happen next year or 3 years down the road or 5 years down the road. So we went ahead with our project. And part of that project was a joint situation, I guess, with the library. And then with the development of the Adult Learning Center, and then a commitment to Bright Site use for the use of the building. So I guess for us it was an exploratory stage, so that if and when we get to the point of creating a complex, that we can say this is what we've already developed in a school that's not really adequate to fit needs, but yet is fitting needs as best as we can creatively with the initiatives that we've already started. So that the youth club, for example, it has become a part of that community initiative, and the public library has become a part of that initiative, and offering an opportunity for adults to upgrade their education. And not only in Burgeo, but we also offer that to the other communities on our coast. And the operation, for example, of a distance ed for our students, where we can offer advanced courses or even grow to the point of offering university or college courses to adults, is something that we really wanted to start to see where we could go in order to offer people a value of education that they could have right here in our community. So yes, the library moved knowing that somewhere down the road this would happen, but 5 years down the road to me means the kids coming in grade 7 this year would be graduated. So you'd have a whole group of graduation that has occurred even before this might occur and grow, you know. So we decided to go ahead with it and monitor it as an exploratory community initiative. And one of the things that will do for us maybe is tell us what we're going to need in the new complex.
Okay. Okay, are there any final comments that either of you would like to make with respect to the new school? Or the proposed new school, I should say.
Yeah, I think from our perspective, we see the community of Burgeo as being actually a wonderful place to try on this particular issue. We noted that there has to be a school in the community of Burgeo as long as people are living here. So the quality of that building should be one that's going to last 30 to 50 years before it needs to be replaced. So we're looking at really high quality construction. And I think the same would be true, as I see it, of the community services, whether it be the library, the youth center, the recreations complex, the sports fields, things of that type. If they can become part of a fully community-supported and provincially supported project, I think they've got a great chance of serving this community very, very well for as long as any one of us would be able to see into the future. And if we can pull it off, I think it'll be a tremendous asset for Burgeo from an economic development point of view and a community services perspective.
Yes, very much so.
So has there been any facility of this magnitude, I guess you'd say, built anywhere else on the island, or is this a first for Newfoundland?
No, it's not a first. The Francophone community has seen the idea of a school community center as being one of the things that was essential to keep their community growing within a majority Anglophone community. And in another part of our district, there is a school community center which has, as part of that community center, the capability of running a program like you've got here at BBS. They actually have a TV studio and a radio broadcasting studio within the school building itself. There is, as well there, a museum. The community library is in that particular building. Adult education center is in that particular building. The community can do dances and meals and things of that type. There's a full kitchen that's available to be able to be used in that community. Outside the building, there's a sports and recreation field, one which allows for, say, basketball and even an outdoor ice rink if they want to get to that. And behind the building, a soccer and softball field is being developed. So that would serve the community of mainland. And while it is a French center, it will serve everybody in that particular community with those types of events. And that was built with a federal and provincial contribution. So, and it's a model, I think, that is coming up where money is scarce, and I think people have to start joining their needs in order to try to get government to pay attention to the funding issues.
The concept, as far as I'm concerned, Dave, is suits the town in that I feel there's going to be savings in building the facility, and by partnering in with the school as far as getting a recreation complex, there's going to be savings there in building, and hopefully, and there should be in operating. And I just give an example, like, I mean, if you build a separate facility, then you still got everything that goes there as far as lighting, and separate lighting, separate eatings, separate bathroom facilities, showers, and so on, where, if you combine the two, there's got to be a saving there somewhere. And so that's what we're looking at, from the side of the town. And while we haven't even decided on anything that'll be in there yet, and hopefully it'll come out in the feasibility study, which it will, just this morning we mentioned about such a thing as close proximity of of maybe an arena, which was talked about for the town in the other feasibility study, and a small pool. You know, you could eat the pool from the water, which would cool the condensers to create your ice surface, you know. And maybe that won't work, but that's the kind of thing we'll toss around in the feasibility study, and I'm pretty optimistic about this thing we're into. And but at the same time, I think I'll stress this before we clue up, that there's no done deals here. You know, it's definitely will be a feasibility study done. That the town will look at it, the people will get a chance to look at it. If it's thumbs down, then we're out. And you know, the school, I guess they're in because for the long haul, because they got to have a school. But you know, if the feasibility shows that Virgil can't take it, well, then I guess we'll just have to drop out. But I think it's the best opportunity that I've heard for Virgil to get itself a recreation complex, because any of these complexes are very expensive to build, very expensive to operate, and you know, it's been around, you've been having your telethons year after year, and we still got nothing, no sod turning, so that's all I hope. It's going to speed things up, and that we will come up with a facility that will be quite suitable to Virgil and the surrounding area. Okay.
And from my point of view, Dave, I guess as the principal of the high school, what I see even of what we have this year, like we had to go through a phase from September to Christmas of no library in our school and waiting for renovations to be done and kind of being up in the air, which was a bit frustrating, but to me it's a short-term pain for a long-term gain. And when I look at now having 15 computers, high-end Pentium computers hooked up to the internet system, that adults can come into the library, for example, with 5 library computers that they never had before and access information, and having students going into the tech center then and accessing information, and having a place for youth to go on weekends where they had nothing to do, and having adults who can walk into the school and upgrade their education, or having 20-odd students now doing advanced placement courses that we couldn't have before. If that's the beginning of a partnership that I would look for in both recreation, culture, and education, I strongly support it, because it can do nothing but benefit and give gains to the whole community.
Okay, well, we'd certainly like to thank the three of you for coming in and updating the public, and we invite you back anytime you like to come back and give further updates.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Dave.
Councillor Sims is with us now with a report from the last council meeting.
Good evening, everyone. A regular meeting of the Virgil Town Council was held on March the 18th, 1998. Some of the items that was discussed at this meeting were as follows. Work on converting the whole library to a museum is progressing quite well, and once everything is done, Virgil will have something that the people can be very proud of. If anyone has any artifacts that they want to donate or loan to the museum, they should take it along this week so that Francis can properly catalog it and have it displayed. Also, if anyone is interested in serving on the museum committee, you can let Stan know by contacting the town council. Another item, the new street signs have been ordered, keeping in mind with the same street names as there is now, and they will be installed once they arrive and weather permits. Council also approved the plans for the proposed renovations to the Bank of Nova Scotia building. Council would like to congratulate them on their proposed development, and it goes to show that they have confidence in the future of our town. May the 3rd to May the 9th is National Drinking Water Week. This is something that the Girl Guides of Canada gets involved in, and Council will support the Girl Guides of Canada in Virgil if they want to get involved. The 2-year term for the town representative on the Long Range RID Board have expired, and now someone else have to be appointed. This is a non-paying position, and it requires traveling to Stephenville once a month for meetings. All of those expenses, traveling accommodations, are paid. If you are interested, you have until tomorrow, March the 30th, to have your resume passed in to the council office. The next item, council will assist the newly formed Ferbers Arbor All-Out Committee in their efforts to do improvements to this all-out. This facility is used by a lot of small boat owners in town and also by visitors as well. The tax collection policy is in its final stages of completion, and once the final draft is done and passed by council, it will be published in the local paper as well on this community channel. These are some of the items that was discussed at the last meeting. Our next regular meeting is scheduled for April the 1st, for anyone out there that would like to sit in on this meeting and listen to the items that we have for our next meeting. Thank you for listening. Good night.
Stay with us for Off the Rack, community events, and the BBS Playbill. All that after this.
In grassroots work, there are no quick fixes. It's a process that begins with listening, exchanging ideas, and working together to solve problems. In Mali, people know what they and their sensitive desert ecology need. Together with USC Canada, they're coming up with solutions like small-scale irrigation systems, market gardens, and locally adapted seeds. Be part of the process. USC Canada, 56 Spark Street, Ottawa.
Off the Rack. This week, as we scanned our tape racks, we came across a video filmed 6 years ago this week as the Cape Nova left Burgeo to join a fleet of vessels in St. John's, while all traveled to the Grand Banks to protest against foreign overfishing. Here's a look back now to March 29th, 1992. We took our camera to the fish plant Wharf to see the Cape Nova off as she departed for St. John's. And, as you can see, we were not alone. The Nova was scheduled to depart St. John's this afternoon for the Grand Banks, where she will remain for approximately 2 weeks. And, as scheduled, at 6 o'clock, the Cape Nova pulled away from the fish plant wharf.
Good evening and welcome to the community events segment of tonight's broadcast on Run the Green. The Lions 2 Straight Lines TV bingo out on Wednesday was won by Pat Marsden and the full card was won by Brad Skinner. Congratulations to you both. The Sand and Sea Communion Committee will be holding a TV bingo on Wednesday at 7 p.m. A full card for $500. Cards are $1 each or 6 for $5 and are available from any committee member. The Burgess Recreation Commission is selling tickets on a year of free cable donated by Burgess Broadcasting System. Tickets are $1 each or 3 for $2 and are available from any Recreation Commission member. The lucky ticket will be drawn during the telethon on May 3rd. There will be a breast self-examination and breast cancer information session at the conference room at the Calder Health Care Center on Monday, March the 30th, beginning at 7:30 p.m. To register or for more information, call Julia at 886-3360, Brenda at 886-2121, or Glenda at 886-3306. The Department of Human Resources and Employment Social Services will be closed on Monday and Tuesday, March the 30th and 31st due to the staff members being out of town attending a conference. For emergencies only, please call 695-7367 during office hours. If your group or organization has an upcoming event planned, we will be happy to advertise it for you. You can contact the BBS office by Wednesday of each week to have items included in this portion of our broadcast. That concludes the community event segment of tonight's program. See you next week.
BBS Playbill. Join us on Monday at 7 p.m. for Look Before You Eat. Tune in on Tuesday at 7 p.m. for Pansy's Garden. Try your luck on Wednesday at 7 p.m. by playing Sand and Sea Come Home Year TV Bingo. Following bingo, we'll have a video of Max Sims Camp. Following that, we'll have our video on preparing a healthy meal. At 7 p.m. on Thursday, we'll have St. John Central High Talent Show. Join Pansy and the gang for craft stories and lots of fun Saturday morning, 11 a.m. on Pansy's Garden. And I'll be here again next week with This Week in Review. Next week's program will be followed by The Bandwagon. Please stay tuned now for the St. John Central High Talent Show. For This Week in Review, I'm Dave Cooper. Good night.